Greetings everyone, my name is Marek and I would like you to welcome in today's trip across the Dublin. I have chosen for you several of the most well-known and interesting places, personalities and many other things which are very good to know. I hope you are going to enjoy this trip and you might learn something new. So make yourself comfortable, we are starting. The Trinity College, or in other words, University of Dublin, is the oldest and the most prestigious university in Ireland, founded in the year 1592 by Queen Elizabeth I. It is very difficult to get into this university. Students must meet the university's minimal matriculation qualification English, mathematics, and a second language. However, once you get into and you are successful, you open the gates for your future because the employers will prefer when you apply for a job you as a graduate of University of Dublin. In terms of study options, the university offers options from three major categories: arts, humanities and social sciences, engineering, mathematics and science, and the last one is health sciences. For an interesting fact, for example, Oscar Wilde is a graduate of this university. The Dublin Writers' Museum was opened in the year 1991. The museum was established to promote interest through its collection, displays, and activities in Irish literature as a whole and in the lives and works of individual Irish writers. Through its association with the Irish Writers' Centre, it provides a link with living writers and the international literary scene. Museum is devoted to individuals like, for example, James Joyce, George Bernard Shaw, or Patrick Pearse. It functions as a place where people can come from Dublin, Ireland, and abroad to experience the phenomenon of Irish writing both as history and as actuality. We can find in this museum several replicas, for example Samuel Beckett's phone or the Book of Kells, and many others. So, if you are a literature fan, I would recommend you to visit this museum. The Dublin Castle was constructed in the early 13th century on the site of a Viking settlement. Dublin Castle served for centuries as the headquarters of English and later British administration in Ireland. Nowadays you can see there the medieval undercroft excavations, however, are only available to visit on a guided tour. The Dublin Gardens on the south side of the Chapel Royal are very popular with visitors and residents. However, much of the castle serves for administration purposes. The cost of the tickets is from 4 to 8 euros, depends on the age, so I would say that the price is really acceptable. St. Patrick's Cathedral, named after St. Patrick's, the patron saint of Ireland, was established in the year 1191, is the larger of Dublin's two cathedrals and the largest church in Ireland. St. Patrick's Cathedral offers visitors a rich and compelling cultural experience and is one of the few buildings that left from medieval Dublin. The best known thing to see inside the cathedral is the tomb of one of the most famous Irish writers, named Jonathan Swift, who is the author of the novel The Gulliver's Travels. Three great famine memorabilia. In the first picture, we can see Famine Memorial. The memorial, which stands on Customs House Quay, commemorates the Great Famine, during which the country's population halved due to death and emigration. In the second picture, we can see the Irish Emigration Museum, located in Dublin's Docklands, which covers the history of Irish emigration to other countries. The last picture, the Jeanie Johnson ship. With this ship, thousands of Irish people fled the Great Famine to North America. Even nowadays, you can enjoy a 50-minute tour on this ship, and a steward will tell you the story how Irish people fled to North America. Oscar Wilde was an Irish playwright, novelist, and poet, the author of one of the most famous novels, The Picture of Dorian Gray. In the first picture, we can see his statue, which is located in Merrion Square in Dublin, was designed and made by Danny Osborne. The second picture shows Oscar Wilde's house, which can be found at the address American College, 1 Merrion Square. Jonathan Swift was an Irish writer, satirist, author of political and religious essays. As for Swift's memorabilia, I have chosen his the most famous novels called Gulliver's Travels, which is both a satire on the human nature and a parody of the literary subgenre of travelogue. The work has been filmed several times. I would recommend you to read this novel because it's really entertaining, and from my own experience I really enjoy this book. George Bernard Shaw was an English playwright and essayist of Irish descent and winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1925. He is considered the founder of modern English drama. In these pictures, we can see his statue, which stands by the gallery's Clare Street entrance, and the statue was sculpted by his very good Russian friend named Paulo Trubetsky, who was a Russian artist. James Joyce, an Irish novelist and poet. In the first picture, we can see his statue, which is located on North Earl Street in Dublin, sculpted by Marjorie Fitzgibbon. As for his memorabilia, I have chosen Dubliners, which is a collection of 15 short stories written by James Joyce, first published in the year 1940. It presents a naturalistic depiction of Irish middle-class life in and around Dublin in the early years of the 20th century. Samuel Beckett Bridge construction began in the year 2007 and was finished in the year 2009. It is a cable-stayed bridge. The bridge joins Sir John Rogerson Quay on the south side of the River Liffey to Guild Street and North Wall Quay in the Docklands area. The total length of the bridge is 123 meters. Its height is 6.1 meter. The interesting fact is that the main span can be rotated 90 degrees due to the size of some big boats. As for a meal, I've chosen this delicious Irish stew with lamb, which is quite simple to cook because all you need is a lamb, potatoes, onions, and parsley. It takes approximately 3 hours to cook, and according to the photos, this meal looks really great, so I would definitely try to cook it and eat it. In these pictures, we can see something which is really specific for Irish people. The fact that they love music and they enjoy spending nights in pubs, drinking beers, playing the musical instruments, singing typical Irish songs, and basically enjoying the time spent with their friends. In these pictures, we can see the Irish typical clothing called kilt, which is basically knee-length skirt worn by men in Ireland. They can wear this on formal or even informal occasions. In my opinion, I wouldn't wear it because I think that skirts are mainly worn by women, but Irish people are different than Slovak. As for something Vikings related, I have chosen the first ruler of Normandy named Rollo. This Viking leader, whose origins were either Danish or Norwegian, began conducting raids on France in the 9th century. However, he ruled only few years, and after his death, a ruler named Eric the Red began to rule in Normandy. Greeting is something that is really useful to know before you travel to a foreign country in order to avoid misunderstandings. And as we can see in the pictures, the most common greeting in Ireland is handshaking. So basically, look in the eyes, handshake, and people in Ireland will be nice and kind too. I'm a big football fan, so that's the reason why I've decided to talk about this beautiful Aviva Stadium, which was opened in the year 2010. The stadium belongs to the biggest stadium in Ireland, with a capacity 51,700 spectators. Once, if I had the opportunity, I would like to take part and watch a football game on this stadium. And of course, the sources I used in my search for information. That would be all from my side. Thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this trip and see you next time. Goodbye.